Season 1 of the CrwndCrane Mental Health Podcast. You are here with Clay. So this episode's more so to fill you in on what I've been up to these past few weeks, where I've been and what's going on behind the scenes, really.
And when I call you darling, can't help but smile. Time can stop forever, that would be fine. I'm where I wanna be, I really.
So this last month I have been travelling. I've been to Uganda in Africa. I've been to Mexico, San Pedro in Central America, and just decided to take a break from life for a bit, go out and see some sights and see some of the wonderful sights around the world. Uganda, I went with my mum and my little brother just to sort of build and bond a relationship with my family and get a bit closer. I haven't been away with my mum for about 13 years. So it's good to be out there and just sort of relax and take it easy with them. And then Mexico, I just decided to book a flight and just travel on my own and just didn't know what to expect. But I always sort of wonder what other people's existence is like and what other people's lives are like. And we're all just sort of our own individual pods. And you never really stop to think about how big this world actually is and who else is out there living their life in their little corner or their little pocket of the world. So just being able to just go out there without any expectations and see if I can just still just build on my confidence and interact with people and just let whatever happens and just sort of go with the flow. And then I did some writing while I was over there. And that was about it. It's time to just have some time by myself and relax. So the book that I am writing is about philosophy and my take on life, based on everything that I've learned from science, just through trying to comfort my fear of non-existence and trying to figure out what actually makes the world work. So it's just a journal of everything that I've learned and then addressing it in a way that makes sense to me, but then also helps my understanding. And it's just a projection of my interpretation of what I think science says about how the world works. But then there's also like a religious aspect of that, just being a Christian and being sort of new to church and sort of what they're teaching me about what life actually means. So sort of marrying the two ideals together and then projecting that out in written form. Yeah, so tackling the anxieties of your fear of dying and just sort of exploring and whatever else. I tried not to think about that because that was the whole exercise of me going away on my own. I'd never travelled on my own until this year. To that extent anyway, just being in a place where I didn't know anybody else there. I didn't know what I was doing day to day. And I was in a dangerous place. But just taking that leap of faith and going out there and meeting new people and just being yourself and seeing that even though you're not in your normal day-to-day environment, being able to smile, being able to talk to people, even though you don't understand a word of Spanish that they're speaking, but being able to express yourself, you can quickly sort of make friends, and it's like as if you're in your hometown. I was able to walk to shops on my own. I was able to rent a car and drive across Mexico on my own, and it was just really refreshing, and it highlighted that no matter where you are on earth, life does go on, and I was sort of able to reflect on life in general. It doesn't matter what you're going through, and it doesn't matter how low you think life is. Somewhere out there, life is still going on, and you've got to be able to pick yourself up from whatever situation you're in. I know it's easier said than done, but you've got to want to live on, and you've got to want to just enjoy your life. There's so much life on earth in this very moment, and closing yourself off to all of that, you're losing out on something that you'll never get back. So it was really good to just be out there and just live and just be able to integrate with a new culture and a different community, be able to make friends with people that you never knew existed. It was actually funny that I'm talking about this now, but on one of the days I was on an island somewhere, met these guys from San Francisco. I was talking to a girl out there, and then I think she asked me for my social media, and I told her that I'm not on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. I've not been for nearly a year now, but I do have this mental health Instagram account. And she said, "Oh well, what was the inspiration behind that?" So I explained, and I talked to her about my anxiety. Again, people, be open and you embrace your anxiety. And she freaked out. She said, "Oh my God, no freaking way!" And she went downstairs and got her friend Macy, who I will tag. But she went and got Macy, and Macy and I have the exact same fear. And I ended up sitting on this beach with this girl, and sharing our experiences, and it was a real eye opener being able to travel halfway across the world and bump into someone that shares the exact same fear that you do, or has the exact same thoughts as you do. So that was pretty interesting, but again, without having been open about that anxiety through that conversation with me and Nikki, I wouldn't have met Macy. And it's just one of those things. So people, I encourage you again, it's okay to talk about your anxiety. It's not silly. You're not going to get looked down upon in society. It was a great conversation opener, and I got to meet someone cool. So yeah, that was it. So coming up soon on the CrwndCrane Mental Health Podcast in the next few weeks and months, we've got a few more guests to interview to wrap up this season. And then going into season 2, we'll be starting the actual focus group. So I've been in touch with 6 followers on Instagram. Eddie Blue, Haley, Gunhild, Brooklyn, and a few others. And we're going to be sort of setting up a panel where we all discuss our weeks and then just share our experiences, and then be able to actually give each other feedback and encouragement with what's going on. Because it's easy for me to sit here each week and talk to you about my fear of non-existence, my fear of dying, but I think we'll be able to reach a lot more people and help a lot more people out there with their anxieties by opening up the show to a panel audience, and being able to just bounce different ideas and different opinions and things, and also share different methods and how we deal with anxiety and other mental health battles that we face. So that's what's coming up in the next few weeks and the next few episodes, and then also a bit of an outlook of what's coming up in season 2 of the podcast, just to try and open it up a bit more and branch out and reach out to a sort of larger set of people, sort of tackle more problems and share different anxieties that we will go through. So thank you so much for taking time to catch up on what I've been up to. And then also, I hope that you're looking forward to what we've got coming up next in season 2. You can follow us on our social media links. They're all below and in several places across the screen. And there's also a link to the iTunes podcast as well in the description. So please give us a subscription and a listen on iTunes. And if you can, rate the podcast so it raises the exposure. And yeah, thank you very much.